Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Bimmer Dude Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize and tell you guys what's been going on, what you missed out on, and also today we're gonna be working on E46 M3. You don't want to miss out, so stay tuned. I've been getting rid of inventory. Some of the cars here in the Bimmer Dude garage are not really getting driven, and it's kind of time for them to go. So I have been getting this car ready on the side off camera. If you guys would like to see videos on how to get a car, how to get an E46 ready to sell to the next seller, let me know down in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to do some videos on that. But for as it is right now, this car is on its way out. If you're not as familiar with this car, you're saying, Bimmer Dude, I don't recognize this car. I don't know what you're talking about. You can find that video right here, and you can get up to speed on this. It's not one of my more popular videos, but if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can find out there. All right, so now that we got that out the way, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the E46 M3, but in order to do that, we're gonna have to shuffle the cars around just a tad bit. We're gonna move the E46 wagon out the way, get the M3 pulled up front and center, and we're gonna get working on today's video.
Over the edge, I feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need.
Alright guys, so now that we got the E46 pulled out, we're going to be making some changes. Now I told you guys when I introduced this vehicle about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago now, that we were going to be focusing our efforts on the interior. The restoration of a lot of the trim pieces that are starting to fade and starting to break, but we're not going to be working on that today. We're going to be installing something on the suspension that I feel is a key item when you have suspension already on your car. One of the things you guys may notice is that the car sits a lot lower than it did when I first introduced the car. That's because the factory suspension was pretty torn up, and I actually had to put coilovers on the car, and I didn't get a chance to put a video out for that. But we will be putting coilovers on the black wagon, which is basically the same thing. So if any of you guys that are interested in how to install coilovers or just suspension in general on your E46, it's pretty much the same thing. So just look out for that video. Alright guys, if you clicked on today's video, you know exactly what we're working on. We're working on how we feel when we're connected to the road, and that has to do with the steering wheel, and we also has to do with the strut brace that I picked up from Megan Racing. Alright guys, so what we have here is a reconditioned OEM E46 M3 steering wheel. Now, the steering wheel in my car, the leather is not torn, but it is weathered really bad, and it calls for a really unpleasant driving experience when it comes to connecting with the car. The leather is very brittle, it's very hard, it's not supple at all, and that's something that we're going to have to do something about. So I picked this thing up on eBay for about 150 bucks. It was done by a seller here in the US, a small company. I will leave a link for their eBay store on my website if you guys want to pick it up for yourself. They did a really great job, and let me show you how they did the stitching here. So like I said before, I didn't go with the tri-stitching. I wanted to do something a little bit different. They did cover the old leather with this leather cover. I believe that you're supposed to do that when you cover these, just to give them a little bit more thickness. And compared to my OEM steering wheel, this wheel here really is beefy, and it kind of gives it that newer feel, kind of like the new M cars. The steering wheels are just fat. I don't know if you guys have ever driven them, but this here is massive. It's going to call for a nice connection to the car, a nice driving experience, just a nice thing to put your hands on when you're driving. So let me show you what else I picked up. So I picked up this strut brace from Megan Racing. I picked it up secondhand. Obviously, you guys know me. If I don't have to buy new, I'm definitely not going to buy new, but it was lightly used. And unfortunately, my car did not come with the factory strut bar. You know, a lot of you guys are asking, but these cars are 20 years old now. There's no telling at what point something was sold, was taken off the vehicle, stolen. You know, you never really know. So we picked up this strut brace. They all basically work the same, unless you have one of those A braces or U braces that cover your chassis or anything like that. They basically all all serve the same function. So we are going to be installing this in the vehicle. I'm going to show you how to do it without messing up your alignment. Then we're also going to be installing the steering wheel. I'm going to show you how to install that without getting a airbag light, because as it currently stands, my car doesn't have any lights at all except for the tire pressure sensor light, because I don't have tire pressure sensors. Alright guys, so this is probably one of the most frustrating things that I've done in a very long time. I'm generally used to E46s and E39s. They have an Allen bolt on the back, and you basically just unscrew that. It lets the airbag loose, but on E46s and M3s, especially with the sport steering wheels, there's a little basically a spring that you have to compress in order to get the airbag to release. But I'm going to go ahead and show you, now that I got the wheel off, the basic premise. You're going to have to take a flathead screwdriver, a pretty beefy one, because you do have to apply some pressure. And I'm going to show you on the brand new wheel what actually needs to be pressed. I noticed there's a lot of videos out there that actually show, well, they don't really show too much. So I'm going to try my best to show in depth what's actually being pushed. And hopefully for anybody else trying to remove their steering wheel, replace the steering wheel, the airbag or whatnot, and hopefully I help one of you guys out. All right guys, so now we got the airbag release. We can go ahead and detach these connectors here. We're going to use the light pressure. Again, these cars are almost 20 years old at this point. And you don't want to break any of these connectors, because this has to do with your airbag. So I got these disconnected. You can pry them off, and that's it. What we have here is the inside of the steering wheel. I was explaining to you guys that there's a spring you guys have to compress in order to get the airbag to remove. This rather large spring here is what you actually have to decompress. You actually have to press on this actual spline here, and you do that by inserting the flathead screwdriver to the back. There should be a backing plate, as you can see, the screwdriver back there. There should be a backing plate. You kind of pry to the left, and you have to make sure to compress or decompress this spring here. That releases the airbag from this inner section right here, and allows you to pull the airbag off. I know there's a lot of videos out there that don't really show what it takes and what it's actually doing, and I just wanted to stop for a second, take pause, and give some insight on this right here. Alright guys, so I have the old steering wheel pulled out here. As you can see, some of the trim, this upper trim is actually in decent shape. There's no wearing on the buttons there, so we're good to reuse that. But however, the part that concerns me is this section right here. I've been trying to determine what to do with this area. You know, I have some friends that actually have covered these in carbon fiber, vinyl wrap, covered it in cloth, maybe some suede, or just flat out paint them. I'm not exactly sure that I want to paint this, but I got to do something since I am putting this brand new wheel on the car. I got to do something with the way it looks. So we're going to go ahead and get this trim piece pulled off on the back here. It is an Allen bolts, the star bits back here. I forget what size it is, but I believe it's a T20. So we're going to go ahead and pull that off so that we can get this trim off, and then we can decide what to do from there.
Reaching for We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost.
Alright guys, so now that I have this off, I'm probably just going to, for now, go ahead and go with paint. So I'm going to go ahead these scratches here. They're not very deep. I'm going to hit it with 1,000 grit sandpaper. Going to sand down the whole trim piece, and then we're going to, I guess, we're going to go ahead and paint this, and we'll see how it turns out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard, and I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark.
Alright, so we got the connectors on. The battery is still disconnected. So all we have to do now is just place this back in. And as you can see, there's these little connectors here that clip on right there and right there. They actually go where those springs are that I was talking about earlier. So get this place in position here. And that's it. Alright guys, so that is going to do it. As you guys can see, the wheel came out excellent. I mean, the quality of the leather. I mean, I let the car sit here out in the sun for about an hour because I had to go take care of something, and when I came back in the car smelled like brand new leather. That's a smell that I haven't smelled in a very long time. I personally never owned a new BMW, but I imagine that's what they smell like, brand new. I'm actually pretty happy with the stitching, even though this is not the tricolor stitching, the BMW tricolor, the signification. I'm actually okay with it. I actually think I prefer it because it kind of breaks up the color combinations going on the car. It kind of goes with the needles there. But all in all, I am thrilled about this modification. I can tell that the person I bought this from actually covered used the wheel cover over top the original leather, so it actually gave the steering wheel a whole lot more thickness. It actually reminds me of more like an E92 M3 steering wheel now because it's just so thick to grab in your hand. So I definitely recommend you guys check this out. Try this for yourself. I will be doing a tutorial video later on this year about how to cover these yourself and how to get the stitching much like this. I was just being a little lazy this time, and I wanted to support a small business, an individual that was actually doing this themselves. So this is the start of the handling characteristics for a daily driven vehicle. I think it's going to be another simple modification. We'll do that before we finish up the video, and that is going to be the strut brace. So let's go ahead and get the car situated. We'll go ahead and get it installed so we can finish this thing up. Those of you guys that watch my channel, you know that I love doing things on a budget. As a matter of fact, with as many vehicles as I have, there's no way that I could afford to modify them if I didn't buy things on a budget. And of course, in perfect Bimmer Dude fashion, with this modification, we did the exact same thing. So I was perusing OfferUp, and I found this Megan strut bar. It's meant for a E46 sedan or coupe. And I believe it's interchangeable between the vehicles, but we're going to find out. I got it for 50 bucks. Now these things normally go for about 80 bucks to 200 bucks online, so I did pretty well for myself, and it's in pretty good condition. There's no visible marks on it or anything, and this also has a dual benefit. Seeing that this vehicle came equipped with coilovers, I'm pretty certain that they did not install the reinforcement plate, preventing any strut tower damage with the failure that tends to happen with these once you put coilovers on. guys, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you liked today's video. If you liked today's video, go down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you liked about the video. If you disliked the video, let me know what you disliked, especially if you're one of those individuals that leaves a dislike and never says anything. Today's video, we installed the new steering wheel on the car, and we installed this strut brace. This is the beginning of a vlog that I'm doing with this vehicle about daily driving E46 M3. This is going to be a little bit different of a series where I'm doing less of how-tos for now on these cars versus making the car a little bit more livable for day-to-day lifestyle. Now, of course, I have coilovers on the car right now, and that's not really conducive for a great daily driving setup, but we're going to go through the ins and outs, and I may or may not end up keeping the coilovers that are on the car right now. We really don't know yet, but we're going to bring you guys along for this process. This is going to be a whole vlog series about daily driving and living with the E46 M3, what's it really like, and what you guys can expect if you're going out there and looking for one for yourself. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. Thank you guys again for watching the video. I want to apologize in advance for the hiatus, the amount of time I've taken off. I was really trying to get my thoughts together and wrap my head around things, and as you know, we are currently at almost 7,500 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you guys. You guys have been sharing. I can see in the analytics, you guys have been sharing the videos, and that's really making a huge difference. And while you're down there in the comment section, leave me a comment on what you think I should do with the car. I am going to try my best to keep this daily driven. I do not have any plans currently of supercharging or turbo in the car, even though that might change. You guys know how I am. My agenda might change, but currently this car is my daily driver, and it's perfect as is. If you guys have any suggestions, leave me a comment down below, or leave me a comment on my Instagram. That's Bimmer Dude with 1 M on Instagram. You can find me there. I'm very active. Before you guys go, make sure you stop by the Bimmer Dude Automotive Garage. It's down in the description down below, and if you guys are familiar with it, it's very easy. You go to the website, you find an item that you want to purchase. All the items on there are listed by other sellers. I get a kickback from eBay for sending you their way. The person gets their money, you get your item, and eBay's happy, everybody's happy, and you guys support the channel. It's currently how I support these builds and how I actually plan to move forward with the Bimmer Dude Channel. So guys, again, thank you guys for watching the Bimmer Dude Channel, and as always, peace out and Godspeed, guys.